an animal that can survive extreme cold, boiling temperatures, and even trips to outer space. The shortest war in history lasted only 38 minutes. And did you know that there are communities around the world living inside of sewers? Stay tuned to get your daily dose of random facts you probably didn't know about. In 1989, the communist regime in Russia was overthrown, forcing all Romanian orphanages to close. Thousands of children were thrown on the streets with no money, no belongings, and nowhere to go. Some of them decided their best option was to take up shelter in the sewers, where there were heated steam pipes to keep them warm. They have been there ever since. These individuals are often referred to as sewer dwellers or underground people. This is a community of adults and children who have no other choice but to live in the sewers in order to have some type of shelter. They are homeless, penniless, and some have no families to turn to for help. They live in filth. There is no running water, no soft beds, barely any space to move and stretch out, and it's no place for someone to live, especially children. In order to try and escape the hunger, the thirst, and their horrible situation, a lot of the people turn to recreational methods. Not just anyone can walk into the sewers and set up shop there. First, they need to go through Bruce Lee, the leader of the group. Bruce has lived in the sewers for over 24 years, and he is basically king of the sewer people. He has silver hair, which he colors with paint, jingling metals all over his clothes, and he is never seen without his pack of stray dogs. Seahorses are a type of fish that are known for their distinctive appearance, with a long snout and a tail that they use to grasp onto objects and anchor themselves in place. They are found in tropical and temperate waters around the world. One interesting characteristic of seahorses is that the male carries the eggs during pregnancy and gives birth to the offspring. The female seahorse deposits her eggs into the male's brood pouch, which is located on the front of the male's body. The male then fertilizes the eggs and carries them in the pouch until they hatch. During this time, the male seahorse provides the eggs with oxygen and nutrients and actively pumps water through the pouch to keep the eggs oxygenated. When the eggs are ready to hatch, the male gives birth to the offspring. Seahorse reproduction is unusual compared to most other animals, and the male's role in carrying and giving birth to the offspring is one of the things that makes seahorses unique. The Anglo-Zanzibar War, also known as the Zanzibar Revolution, was a military conflict fought between the United Kingdom and the Zanzibar Sultanate on August 27, 1896. The conflict lasted about 38 minutes, marking it as the shortest recorded war in history. On August 25, 1896, the pro-British Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini fell ill and died unexpectedly soon after. 2 hours later, his cousin Khalid bin Bargash seized the palace by force and soon had an army of 2,500 armed men, including machine guns, cannons, and an armed sloop surrounding the palace. The British knew that the new sultan would not be as easily controllable like his cousin, who was more favorable to their interests as sultan. After some failed negotiations, the British demanded Khalid's forces to stand down and to leave the palace, or else he would be forced out. The new sultan rejected, and on August 27th, the British launched an attack on the palace. The British were superior in this war, and with only one sailor injured, the sultan's forces sustained roughly 500 casualties. The sultan later fled to the German consulate before escaping to the Italian consulate and seeking asylum in the German Empire. The war marked the end of the Zanzibar Sultanate as a sovereign state and the start of a period of heavy British influence. The country became a British protectorate and later, in 1963, a part of the newly independent state of Tanzania. Tardigrades belong to an elite category of animals known as extremophiles, or critters that can survive environments that most others can't. For instance, tardigrades can go up to 30 years without food or water. They can also live at temperatures as cold as absolute zero or above boiling, at pressures 6 times that of the ocean's deepest trenches, and in the vacuum of space. Tardigrades have been on Earth about 600 million years, preceding the dinosaurs by about 400 million years. Their resiliency is in part due to a unique protein in their bodies called DSUP, short for damage suppressor, that protects their DNA from being harmed by things like ionizing radiation, which is present in soil, water, and vegetation. Another amazing survival trick is cryptobiosis, a state of inactivity triggered by a dry environment. The microanimals squeeze all the water out of their bodies, retract their heads and limbs, roll up into a little ball, and become dormant. When conditions improve, they unfurl themselves and go about their business.